Hey guys, this video will be to teach you how to solve a Rubik's Cube faster. So, I just finished making my tutorial series about 5 minutes ago, and now I'm going to teach you how to some like tips and tricks and shortcuts to solving the Rubik's Cube. So, now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how to... First thing, if you want to solve a Rubik's Cube fast, you're going to need a Rubik's Cube that moves fast, alright? So, this is a Rubik's store-bought. It's new and doesn't turn good. This here is my old Rubik's store-bought, which does in fact turn better, right? But as you can see, it's a little worn out, so I didn't use it for my tutorial videos. So, you're going to need a Rubik's Cube that turns fast. So, what you're going to do is you're going to take your Rubik's Cube, and you're going to turn the top layer 45 degrees, right? Stick your thumb or an object like a knife or a fork or something into underneath this side, and you're going to pry it out. Shit. And you are going to just pry it out. Alright? It may take a bit of force to do so, but trust me, chances are your cube will not break. Alright, some cubes may, so do this at your own risk. Now, once you've popped out this piece, you can then continue to fully disassemble the cube. And then, once you have done so, you can lubricate it with silicone spray. Do not use Vaseline. Vaseline gets in your cube and makes it all bad and dusty and stuff, and silicone keeps it clean as well. So, once you've lubricated it, you can reassemble it. I'm sure you can figure out how to yourself, and if you can't, I might make a reassembly video tutorial soon. Now, once you've done so, your cube should move faster, right? Now, for this, once your cube has been lubricated, it will turn much better. Another thing that you'll need to do, to learn actually, is something called finger tricks. Right? Now, finger tricks, like what I'm doing here, how I move the cube so fast is with finger tricks. Now, finger tricks is simply, instead of moving a whole face with your hand, like instead of moving the top face with a whole hand, you can just flick it with a finger. Alright? Now, so you can go like, alright? Now, if you guys want me to, I can make an instructional video on finger tricks. However, I will have to get a request or two for it before I actually make it, because you guys can figure this out on your own, right? Alright, now, with finger tricks and a fast cube, you should already be getting faster times. However, your times can get even faster. Now, the first shortcut that comes in handy is when you're solving these. When you have a case where you have this corner, when the corner is oriented in such a way that the white is facing up, you can do, instead of doing R, U, R prime, U prime 3 times, what you can do instead is R, U, 2, R prime, U prime, and then you'll only have to do that R, U, R prime, U prime once more. Alright, so I'll do that again. R, U2, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime. Now, the next step comes in handy when your top corner is oriented in such a way that the white is facing towards the left. So, what this means is, instead of doing R, U, R prime, U prime 5 times, which would surely be a pain in the ass, what you can do instead is do the algorithm R, U, R prime, U prime, but backwards. So that would be U, R, U prime, R prime, and it will be solved. See? So I'll show you the comparison. This versus this. Figure it out for yourself which is quicker. Alright, so with these two shortcuts, you should be able to figure out the other ones yourself. Now the next shortcut comes in handy when you are solving the top cross. Now if you have the backwards L, instead of doing F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime twice, you can hold the cube so that the backwards L is down here, like so, and turn the first two layers, like this. So first two layers, R, U, R prime, U prime, first two layers back. So it's the same thing, except instead of turning just the first front layer, you would turn both. Now the next step comes in handy when in the last step when orientating these top corners here. Right? So after you flipped over the cube and you're about to solve them, if the cube is orientated in such a way that it's pointing to the left, you can do the RU, R prime, U prime algorithm backwards twice instead of having to do it the right way 4 times. So I'll show you the comparison. 1, that, versus that. You guys can figure it out for yourself, I'm sure. So you do that and this. Done. So those are some shortcuts for solving the cube and some tips and tricks. I'll be seeing ya.